Hello. This is the fourth video of Ladybug for Dynamo, and I just realized for the last two videos my mic was kind of like disconnected, and you get some background noise. My apologies for that. Uh, I wanted to redo it, but then I started thinking, okay, if I redo that, I can't, I won't have time to do more videos, so I'm doing just this videos. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully at some point I will replace it. And again, these videos are just to get you started, and definitely we will have better videos with more, showing more of the nodes when we have more implemented. Okay, this is the going to be the first one that we will see some colors. So very exciting. uh, from the visualization point of view. So we saw how to import weather file, how to draw a sun path. And the next thing is okay, we want to run some analysis, we need some test points. And generating test points, there are, let me open it. There are plugins that can help you. So there is example 02 gen test points. And again, you can see open in manual execution mode. Like if you don't do that, it can run when you open it. I don't suggest that. In general, I don't suggest that. Like even in Grasshopper, you look to see what that file does before you open it. So what we're going to do here is, in this example, I have two surfaces, and then uh, I use this generate test point to generate some test points, and then for here we don't run any environmental analysis per se. We just calculate the distance to the center point of uh, of the surface of one of the surfaces, and we use the Ladybug color surface component or node, which is basically on top of the surface preview of Dynamo. And by the way, all these things are custom nodes. You can double click on them, and then you can see what's happening inside. The code, if you want to read the code, is this py file. For every node, there is a separate Python file that you can read, and you can just check what's happening under the hood as usual, and then you can see the source code if you like. I just close this. So which is built on top of that. I use this, and then I show you the legend parameter, which helps you to kind of manipulate your visualization. Again, very similar to what we have in Grasshopper side, but there are some stuff that are actually much better now than what it used to be. So okay, let me get started. And what about this? I disconnect analysis surface, and I disconnect the values. So it's kind of like a more of a learning kind of video, more than promotional. Okay, this is colorful. So now I go ahead and run this, so we will see what are we talking about. And again, I'm keeping my fingers crossed to at least once we get the error. No, it worked. So what's going on here is I draw a rectangle, draw another rectangle here, and then I create a surface by patch. You can't see the surfaces. Why? Because the preview is off. You can click, and now the preview is on. And then I use this component. First of all, I put them together to have a list. And hello. And then here I use this component node. I'm so used to using the term component. They're the same. When I say component, I mean node in Dynamo. I use this node, which what it does, it takes the number of segments and distance from surface to generate this test points. This number of segment is going to change to the grid size eventually, but for now, just we have it as number of segments, which is easier. But it's not if you have a surface, this is a square and this is a rectangle, you can't see that much of a difference. But if you have a surface, for example, this is like a narrow rectangle, then you will get so many on this side really, and not as much as you need on the other side. But it's okay. So you see now I have the test points. The other thing that I did, I get the center point of this surface, and again that's where this code block is so handy. You can just type s dot point at parameter 0.5, 0.5, and it gives you the evaluate this surface, and it gives you the center point of the surface. And finally, I use this geometry distance to find the distance of all the test points from this center point. You can see all the distances are here. So now if you want to color it and you color it normally with Dynamo, I found it really hard for several reasons. One is like these test points are a list of lists, and then you have to flatten and then get, if you want to find the domain, and then when you do that you have to unflatten, and that, it was so much headache. But now what you can do, you can use this color surface component, which you can use for any analysis, including this kind of analysis. All you need to have is some values, which is the values that I have here for my distance calculation, and then the analysis surface. So what is the analysis surface? Both of surfaces are analysis surfaces because I generated the points for both of them, and they are here. I just connect them here. And let me disconnect legend parameter. So let's go with the default legend parameter and press run. Boom. So what happened, and let's take a moment and enjoy these colors. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think the color in the graphic, like, it looks much nicer here in Dynamo. So you can see now the places that are closer to the point are bluish, and then when it gets to the and it's reddish, which is further. The legend is not there yet, and if you know me and if you've watched my videos, you know, like no joke, like you should have a legend if you have a color, but that's coming. Like I couldn't figure out, and actually I will show you that, how to put numbers next to the test points, but that is possible and it will be added at some point. Then you will have a legend here that the colors makes more sense. But now let's go back and say, first of all, maybe you don't like these colors. If you are again a Ladybug user, you know that we have custom colors, but you can use any color to change the color set. What I will do here is now, I know this is the number 1, which is the default. I use Ladybug color range, which generates colors, and if you check here, it will tell you all the options that we have for different colors. And then let's go and use the original Ladybug colors. So I just connect the legend parameters here, and because I have this thing set to 0, it will use, as you can see, but you can't when I move my mouse, it's original Ladybug color. So if I run this, you will see now the color set changed to the original colors. Okay, this is cool, but now as you can see, it's just like the colors are mapped to the range of values, which we don't know what is the range of values here. What are the values are changing between like 0 to what? Like to 200, 11, whatever, I don't know. So what if I want, for example, in daylighting analysis, many times you want to do that. You want to say, okay, whatever is more than 300, make it all red. So I can just get an idea about like what are the areas that are all red getting more than 300. Here, let's say whatever is more than 5, whatever it is the unit of this document, we want to be red. So I can set the domain for the legend parameter, and here I say minimum means use the minimum value, whatever it is, and 5 as the maximum value. So I just connect this to the domain, run, and you'll see. So now I know like this is the range of 5, whatever the unit is, and more than that is red. So this is one of the things. But one of the other interesting things that we didn't have in Ladybug before, and it was always useful, is what if I want to do it for each segment? Instead of like having a continuous coloring, what if I want to have a segmented coloring? This is now possible with the new legend parameter.